Hello everyone, welcome to my studio. Let's get some light going here. Cool, now that we've activated our creative flame of hope, let us work on our painting. It is time for another layer. I'm quite happy with where the pendant is right now. All the masking fluid is still on the paper, so we will leave that to the final stages of this painting. In this session, however, I'm going to focus more on the background and just redefining the depth of the environment around this beautiful magical charm. And I'm just mixing some color here to just bring the blue that you're seeing in the top left much more forward to the foreground. I'm going to work on developing the flame in the background a little bit more. That, shall we call it a hearth? The hearth also has a lot more stone definition beneath it, and here you'll just see me match the color and just see if the intensity of the color is enough. I'll also be using the black that I used in the pendant, and I've got that pigment off to the side because I really need the strength of the black pigment again for the very deep shadows in the background. I'm still getting sort of used to working with my etcher palette. I do love the variety of wells, but because they're so small, you can only really use a small brush with a tip or the toe of the brush to really pick up some pigment, and sometimes it takes a little bit of effort to, especially if you want to mix a strong, intense mixture. But nevertheless, I do enjoy it, and it takes up far less space on my table. Don't you agree? Look at all of the beautiful changes that I've made to my table. I think it's working really beautifully on camera, all the trinkets that's lying around, and I must say I am enjoying it. This will be my first painting session on this mossy background, so we'll see how it goes. Here you can see the black pigment I'm using from my Koi watercolor set. I'll have to check to see exactly what the pigment is in their line there. I will add it into the description of this video, and I'm just really developing the depth of that wash there in the middle, so that when I start painting I've got a well of color that's already mixed that I can focus on working in the shapes that we will be painting. So let's get into this, and you will also notice my two glass jars. So during the progression of this video you will see how dirty that water gets, and that's a good way to just check the whole time. How dirty is my water? Make sure you rinse your brushes in the clean water before you pick up fresh pigment. That will ensure that you always have beautiful color on your paper. And if you just use one water container, the water gets very muddy very quickly, and soon that pigment begins to travel in your other pigments that you're mixing, and everything will matte down and tone down because of the gray factor really that you are adding to your pigment. So if you want bright, happy colors like I have on my painting, then do make sure that you use 2 containers of water to just keep that whole rinse and wash process during your painting as clean and as pure as possible. So during this layer you will notice that I am going to be doing a lot of blending. So my quill brush that's now resting on the palette has all the concentrated color ready to roll, and the other brush that I'm using now is just damp with clean water. You'll see me use a kitchen towel every time to wipe off excess water, and that way I'm able to just soften some of the edges to help me sort of create this earth and deepen the shadows. You can see the reference material on the left. So this entire session is going to be a process of redefining some of the darker areas and then dropping in water or lifting up a little bit of color in order to just help define the roundedness of these stones, the shadows that's there, the space that's between the earth and the background, and the workspace on the foreground that is hosting this beautiful magical charm. So really, it sounds complicated, but it is really not that complicated. It just is a process of exploring where the light and dark aspects really are situated on the reference material, and to try to diffuse everything in the background. So I'm really aiming to not have too much hard edges, to really focus on creating some softness and diffuseness in contributing towards the depth that is in this image. If everything is diffused and soft in the background, then it makes the magical charm look more in focus. And that is a small little secret to help the viewer focus on the main subject, which is this magical charm, and not so much on the detail in the background. But the detail in the background gives the presence, and it grounds the image, and it talks a little bit about what is happening around this beautiful magical charm. So it is still information that is important, but it is not necessary to bring everything into crisp focus on the foreground. So let's see how I develop these shapes using hard edges and soft edges, using a clean brush to soften and diffuse, to wipe away some excess pigment, but at the same time to really nail the value of the depth of these shadows. So that is basically what I'm aiming to achieve in this session. Right, everybody, so I think it's time for another magic act. I'm going to just speed up things a little bit for you, so that this doesn't take a full 45 minutes, but rather a few minutes, um, because there's a lot of repetition of the same technique, and I'm sure that you guys want to see how this picture develops. So let's speed things up a little bit. Okay, you guys, that's as far as we're going today. See you in the next episode. Bye bye for now.